Now on NECN, a complete review of the week's top stories in business. This Week in Business.
Microsoft expands in Cambridge. We'll talk with their top New England executive about the computer giant's plans and products.
But first, the world's largest software maker is getting even bigger right here in New England. The general manager of the region joins us next.
And welcome back to the briefing room, where each week we look at some of the key stories that impact the business community. And we begin this time with Microsoft, the world's largest software company. And they are going to expand by some 75% their presence in Massachusetts.
Joining us today is Ted McLean, the general manager of the New England district for Microsoft. And in the spirit of full disclosure, as you know, Microsoft is one of the sponsors of This Week in Business. Welcome, Ted.
Good to have you here. I know it wasn't all that long ago that you announced your expansion plans in Cambridge. And aside from the physical presence of what you're doing there, what does it mean? I haven't heard yet what this means in terms of the number of jobs that are going to be coming to any new jobs in Cambridge.
Right. So our decision to increase our footprint, our real estate footprint here by nearly 75%, really reflects the value that we place on Massachusetts as a great place for high-tech companies to expand. The talent base here is incredible. The proximity to leading institutions, academic institutions, is unparalleled anywhere else in the United States. And so this is just one step, as we see it, in the context of a longer-term strategy to increase our presence here. This increase in space gives us the ability to add roughly 550 new jobs here in Massachusetts, and that's in line with the growth that we've seen in this marketplace over the last 3 or 4 years.
Now, what's the timing of all that in terms of the expansion physically and the addition of the jobs? Do you have a sense yet?
We're still working on our plans. Our initial plan is to move one of our development teams called SoftGrid from South Boston over to Cambridge early this fall. And that move has really been driven by the roughly 100% growth in headcount that we've seen in that unit just over the last year or so. Beyond that, we're still formulating our plans as to what exactly will go into that facility, but we can envision opportunities for R&D opportunities and operations, as well as the opportunity to roll in future acquisitions into the space.
Ted, let's continue on the jobs creation mode, which I think is critical for any state, any region. Vista was introduced with much fanfare, but in addition to what it does as an operating system, my recollection is that IDC did a study that indicated that there could be up to 5,000 new jobs created, not simply with Microsoft, but with Microsoft's partners. How is that going to happen, and where are we in terms of growth?
Right, so the IDC study, and IDC is based in Framingham, and did a study, an independent study earlier this year, where they estimated that roughly 5,000 new jobs and about $2 billion in economic growth could be expected from the launch of Microsoft Vista. And as you point out, these aren't Microsoft jobs, and this isn't Microsoft revenue, but rather these are jobs and economic growth that we expect to see coming from within our 6,500 or so partners, Microsoft partners in the state of Massachusetts. These are largely small and medium-sized businesses doing business here in the state.
You know, as you look to the future, whether it's job creation, one of the things that people like me who aren't technologists like to talk about, what is the future in terms of technology? For example, take this little thing. It connects me to the internet.
And what is it there?
Connects me.
It's your BlackBerry.
It's my BlackBerry.
Okay.
It connects me on a phone. It connects me to all kinds of things. Is this the future of technology? What are the new products and future that you see?
Sure. So mobility-based products are, in fact, a big centerpiece of the future of technology, as are whether a handheld device or something that you, like a laptop or even a desktop that you might use in an office. Increasingly, the focus is how do you move beyond a standalone device and something that connects you and allows you to collaborate and communicate with those and do work with those who may be just down the hall from you or somewhere else in the world. And that's the big trend driving activity.
Does Microsoft have an iPhone type product coming out in the pipeline?
So we have a number of smartphones that we don't manufacture ourselves, but rather we work with independent vendors to design and develop. And there's some really exciting devices out there right now in the market.
In terms of competition, I mean, Microsoft's always been the giant in this industry, the real heavyweight. But there's so much more competition, as you know full well, and chiefly, in a large part, from Google these days. How do you view, from your perch, the competition against or to Microsoft by Google?
Yeah, the software industry has always been characterized as one of intense competition and really a focus on innovation as being the driver and differentiator of players in the marketplace. And players like Google and other innovators like Apple really drive us to continue to focus on being more and more innovative. So we look at that competition as a good thing. And we think that in the end, consumers and businesses who are the consumers of these innovations are the ones to benefit.
So you think your company's a better company because of Google and Apple?
Absolutely.
You talk about software and technology. One of the major issues that the industry deals with is security, and more we're reading about security breaches. A, from an industry point of view, where do you think we are? And B, from a Microsoft point of view, where is Microsoft in terms of security?
Security is a huge issue in the industry. It's an issue in the industry and for consumers. And the issue for businesses is really one of maintaining the integrity of their customers and their proprietary data. There's somewhere on the order of 500,000 laptops that get stolen in the U.S. in a given year. And that's information that contains yours and my personal information. And so the stakes are very high. And so companies like Microsoft, but the industry in general, is working very hard to address those issues in terms of being able to lock down that information. Windows Vista was in large part, some of the capabilities were based on customer feedback that we needed to create opportunities to lock down that data in a more meaningful way. And Vista, in fact, does that through a technology called BitLocker. It's also an issue for consumers. As a father of 2 kids myself, keeping kids safe while they're on the internet, particularly in the summer months when they're more likely to be unsupervised when they're online, is an important issue.
On that note, I must say, I don't know whether it's more difficult to be a father or to provide security for your technology, but Ted McLean, thank you very much for joining us.
Nice to meet you, Ted.
Thank you.